guys, Al DeMarco here, and this is going to be your Tuesday video report. We've got 3 football games on tap tonight. The long-awaited 2-day delayed NFL contest between Minnesota and Philadelphia, and I've got a free pick on that game coming up in just a moment. 32-19 run with free football picks, college and pro combined, over the past 8 weeks. And then in college football, we've got 2 bowl games on tap this evening. First one kicking off at 6:30 Eastern Time. That's my best bet on the board. It's going to be your NC State-West Virginia contest. That is the Champs Sports Bowl down in Orlando, and then out in Tempe, Arizona at 10 o'clock Eastern Time this evening, you've got the Insight Bowl between Missouri and Iowa. I've also got a selection on all that game as well, and the NFL side selection going tonight on the Eagles and the Vikings. But let's quickly preview the 2 college bowl games. Of course, in the Champs Sports Bowl, you've got an NC State team that is currently getting 2.5 to 3 points. An NC State team that, of course, has a great offense, averaging 32 points a game this season. An offense directed by, I think, one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country, that being, of course, Russell Wilson, who not only is a very good passer, but also a very good scrambler as well. Ran for 9 touchdowns, ran for over 300 yards. Problem with NC State is they cost themselves a chance to play in the ACC title game by blowing a 14-0 lead on the road at Maryland in their season finale and losing that game to the Terrapins, a Terrapins team that West Virginia beat earlier this season. Now, you may think that NC State is obviously at a disadvantage here tonight, perhaps playing on a low after losing their shot at the ACC title game, but remember this: West Virginia, by nature of playing in the Big East Conference, hasn't faced anybody with a high-powered, high-octane passing attack like NC State will bring to the table this evening, and they certainly haven't faced a quarterback like Russell Wilson. West Virginia, a team that everybody expected to be able to run the ball with authority this year, but did not do that, as Noel Devine really had his entire season ruined by various injuries to his ankle and his foot. Now, he's had 3 weeks to rest, but is he going to be back tonight? Instead, West Virginia really turned into more of a passing team with the sophomore quarterback Geno Smith throwing for over 2,500 yards. But West Virginia has some questions here as well. As you may know, Bill Stewart, their current head coach, well, he was basically kicked to the side of the road and told that his services were no longer going to be needed after next year because they're bringing in the Oklahoma State offensive coordinator to be their new head coach in waiting, that ever popular head coach in waiting scenario. So he will be the offensive coordinator next year, and then they'll officially kick Stewart up into the administration to some undisclosed, probably know-nothing job 2 years from now in 2012. So you've got to wonder about the motivation for both teams. Is West Virginia, with the off-field distractions, are they able to get it going here tonight, or NC State? That is my 10-dime best bet tonight. I've got a 5-dime play on the Missouri-Iowa game. Number of times I used Missouri this year, and number of times I used Iowa this year. You know, I mean, it's 2 teams, though, I think, that has an interesting game here. You know, Iowa certainly has the defensive edge. You would think a team that gave up 16.7 points per game this season, but then you realize Missouri was even better defensively. Question in this contest: will Iowa be able to play with authority after ending the season with 3 straight losses, 2 of them coming against Minnesota and Northwestern, against a Missouri team that did beat Oklahoma this year, did beat Texas A&M in College Station, and then got roundly defeated in the next 2 games by Nebraska, in which their quarterback was sacked 6 times, and by Texas Tech, and then ended the season with a 3-game winning streak against Kansas, Kansas State, and Iowa State, 3 cupcakes. Another question for the Hawkeyes to be answered tonight: will they be able to play well offensively minus their top wide receiver and their top running back? Although, of course, Ricky Stanzi, who's had a scintillating year, 25 touchdown passes, only 4 interceptions, over 2,500 yards passing, and like a 66% completion ratio. Will he be able to get the job done? Missouri currently a 2.5 to 3-point favorite, but in that contest, keep in mind, Missouri last year laid one of the biggest eggs of the entire College Bowl postseason, getting hammered by Navy in the Alamo Bowl, or excuse me, in the Texas Bowl. And yet, they're a 2.5 to 3-point chalk here tonight. I've got a 5-dime play on that contest tonight. Now, Philadelphia and Minnesota, you know the deal. Unless something really bizarre happens in the next few hours, like last Monday, Brett Favre will not be playing. So it's going to be Joe Webb, the rookie, making his first NFL start. The Eagles, a little less motivation, laying the 14 to 14.5 points in this contest because they got the NFC East title they coveted when the Giants lost to the Packers. However, they still have motivation to play in this game, because obviously with Atlanta losing last night to New Orleans, not only is a first round bye still in the cards as a possibility, but either the first or the second seed is still open. First seed if Chicago and Atlanta both lose this weekend. Chicago might to Green Bay, Atlanta to Carolina, probably doubtful, but still the Eagles have plenty of motivation tonight. I've got a $5 play on the side selection in that game, but I want to talk about the total in the contest. It is set at 44 points, and I think the game stays under for a couple of reasons. If Philadelphia gets a commanding lead in this game, there is absolutely no incentive, especially since the Eagles are going to be shortchanged in the rest department, to keep Michael Vick and LaShawn McCoy, the two top offensive players, and Deshaun Jackson and Jeremy Maclin in there for extended periods, because they've got another home game Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys. And again, this is the ultimate short rest as they're being forced to play on Tuesday because of the weather delay. First Tuesday night game in the NFL, I think, since 1946. So even though Andy Reid can, of course, put in Kevin Kolb, who was a starter on and off this season, to replace Vick, is he going to want, if the Eagles take a lead in this contest, to expose Vick and his starters to unnecessary perils and possible injuries? So that would lead me to play this game under the total. Plus, you have to wonder, can Minnesota move the ball? Will they be able to put any points on the board with Webb in there at quarterback? He is the great unknown. There's a reason that this game has a 14.5 point line. Only 6 games this season in the NFL with that number, 14.5. Favorites are 2 and 4 against the spread in those. So, I've got a $5 play on the side. But again, I think the play in this contest is to take this one under the posted price. Under the posted price. That's the way to play it. Good luck, everybody, and I'll catch you again on Wednesday.